So I've covered this before, like last year, but here's another strategy. A little bit of what Scott's talking about, but here's another angle. So, for example, let's say you have a parent. Let's say your father passed away and your mom's like, 70 years old, whatever, and she owns the house outright. Let's say it's $250,000 home. She doesn't have a mortgage on it anymore. And so my question for her would be, ma'am, what do you actually want to do with this house? Well, I want to give it to my son, Joe. Okay, awesome. That's awesome. How would you like to give it to him? How would you like to do this in the most tax advantaged way? Well, what do you mean? Well, why don't we, here's a scenario. Why don't you do this? Joe, why don't you buy the house from your mom? Okay. You get a mortgage on the house for $250,000. Okay. And you own the house and you're going to let your mom live in it free of charge. Okay. And so what we would recommend is you create an LLC, put the house in the LLC, have the LLC own the home, and then you write what you would have charged as rent, you write that off, okay, your taxes on the house. So it becomes a mega write-off, right? Because what you would have paid, what you would have charged her for rent, it's considered a loss because you're not charging her that money. So she gets $250,000. So what do you do with the $250,000? Well, you stick the $250,000 in an IUL for all the reasons I mentioned before. You get all the benefits, plus you get a death benefit that pays out. And it has all the chronic illness, critical illness, and it acts like a long-term care policy, right? Because she was going to give the house to her son anyway, okay? And so the son, let's say she dies in 10 years, 81. So he's been paying the mortgage on the house. The house is appreciated. He's gotten the write-off on it for 10 years, okay? When his mom dies, she's been taking advantage of having an IUL and the safety of an IUL. When the mom dies, he gets this $400,000 death benefit tax-free. So not only does he have a house that's appreciated, that he's written off the mortgage, a majority of the mortgage, because that's lost rent. Then he gets another $400,000 tax-free from the single premium IUL, right? Instead, okay, so do you think that benefits him better? It benefits the mother better, as opposed to her holding on to the house. And then when she dies, he inherits the house. And then he's got a taxable event. Now, let's say you're the agent that you sold that policy. So you sold a single premium, 50,000 single premium IUL, assuming, okay, she has to be insurable, okay, right? And the son has got to agree that he's going to let his mom live in their tax or rent free, okay? So anyway, do you see how creative you can be with life insurance? And you just pocketed on a MECT IUL. So you put 250,000, so maybe the target is 75,000. So maybe you made $50,000 on that deal. Is that cool? And that's just being conservative.
Made 50 and had the write-off. And then
made 50, had the write-off, had the appreciation of the house. Okay, and it's owned within an LLC. It's not his personal income, but he gets to write it off. Well, if it's an S or just LLC, it's a pass-through. So he can write off all the rest of his income because of the loss he's taken on the home. And all the upkeep in the home, keeping it, livable for his mom, all that's, you can write off. Like, fun with IULs. Do you know the power you have with a life insurance license? Did you know that you could do all this stuff with a life insurance license? It just, you're just you're just a few books away, right? You're just a few books away. from learning this stuff. So, Milan, you're writing a lot of these little policies, which are awesome. I love that you're writing smart UL instead of writing term policies. Okay. But now do you see, like, when you start putting your big boy pants on and you start playing in this game, that you're going to run into people, dude, with 70-year-old mothers that are widows that have a house that's paid off, that they want to give it to their children.
Mhm.
Is that crazy? Did you know that you could do that?
I did not.
You know now.
Oh, absolutely. That's
And any
fair.
of y'all that run into a situation like that, let me help you. We'll do a Zoom call. We'll show them why it makes sense. Of course, the kids have to, be able to pay for that mortgage. But when they realize the benefit of having this $400,000 death benefit that's going to come to them, they already own the house and they're getting all the write-offs on the house. It's a slam dunk, man. Slam freaking dunk.